Welcome to episode 5, you dirty batters of the Inglorious Batters podcast. My name is Jordan, alongside with my two amazing co-hosts, Adam and Rob. Our first week of fantasy baseball is in the books. It was great for some people. It was crappy for other people, but all in all, everybody has fun. The one thing that I will like to mention is that if you lose just your first week, unlike fantasy, like football or any other league that's shorter, losing doesn't really hurt that bad in baseball because there's so many weeks that you play. So I like to have a positive mindset with it because I just lost to Adam.
I was going to say, this sounds like it's coming from someone that lost a week long.
But I have my excuses for losing. My pitching just fell apart. It was bad. It was so bad. My relief pitching was great, but my starting pitching struggled. But we'll get to you, Adam, in a second. I don't care about you. Rob, how was your first week?
Oh, it was fantastic. I, too, am aboard the train that is not of the winning caliber. So I started off the season 0-1. So not the happiest about it, but, I mean, it is what it is. How was your first week? I know that we just discussed it briefly, but I want to hear about it a little bit more.
All right,
I do too. I would love to hear about it, Jordan.
You want to hear from my perspective?
Yeah, because trust me, what I have to say about my team, I'm not going to rub salt in the wound. So you go ahead and just give us the rundown of how your first week went, and we'll go from there.
All right. Well, give me like a hot second. All right. So the worst thing about my team last week is that my ace, Aaron Nola, decided to give me a total of, hang on, where is it? 14 points. And that's my ace. Should be a lot higher. But then also, here are my other pitchers that contributed to my loss as well. Gregory Soto, -15. Corey Kubler, -15. Cole Irving, -15. Fujinami from Oakland, -22.
Yikes.
It was trash.
Yeah. No, that's a tough, that makes it a kind of a tough mountain to climb when you're getting that kind of.
Yes. Well, that's really, like, in my opinion, the only reason why I lost. My offense did well. My offense I had zero complaints about. It's my starting pitching. I had one relief pitcher suck, but all my other relievers, which are all available if you guys want any of them, they're all top 5 caliber. Please, I have too many on accident. But like overall, it would have been a lot closer if like Aaron Nola or my pitchers were supposed to pitch the way that they are capable of doing. But other than that, it was a great week, Adam. Good game to you. I can't wait to play you again because my team is a lot better now. Oh, Pico is in. He actually is. Oh, this is his first episode of watching, I think.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell, Pico? Yeah. Appreciate you guys. By the way, everybody in the comments, we'll try to get to them as we can. We appreciate everyone being here. But yeah, Jordan, yeah, it was a rough week for you, but coming out of it's week one, well, I guess it's more of like a 10-day first week. So it's a little bit odd with opening weeks because it's a little bit of a extended week, but yeah, I mean, obviously 160, almost 170 point win for me out of the gates. No big deal. But more importantly, this week I am up by 220 points to Ethan. So looking pretty good for the Kikionga Indians.
He just traded me Corbin Burns.
I saw that. That's a nice pickup. I love Corbin Burns. Absolutely.
55 points.
Yeah, no, he's good. He actually holds a special place in my heart because I picked him up the year he won the Cy Young. I got him in the draft pretty late.
In 21? 2 years
in
ago?
20, I think. Or whatever year he won it. Was that 21?
He won it in 21, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
But yeah, so the thing about fantasy baseball is you can't get too high, you can't get too low. Sure, performance looks okay. I'm 1-0, but as I head into this week, it's been brutal on me. I've lost Jose Siri, who I've had to drop. I ran out of IL spots because not only that, I lost Brandon Woodruff, I lost Corey Seager, and today I find out I lose Jeffrey Springs for probably 2 months is what they're saying, but probably longer than that.
Oh,
it's devastating. It really is. And
he was doing so well.
Yeah.
If he would have kept that up, he easily would have been in the running for Cy Young, and nobody would have saw that happening.
No, not at all. Not at all. So
he was incredible. I was actually chasing him for a little bit, trying to get him off of Adam.
Yeah.
What was it? Thursday he gets hurt, and I was offering trades.
Oh, yeah. Trades for him and Corey Seager, who also
right.
Yeah. I declined the trade because
I was about to give up a pretty decent haul for him too. So I mean, based off of my draft strategy, anyways.
I was trying to get Brandon Woodruff off you.
So it's tough. It's been a tough week, but that's kind of just the way fantasy baseball goes. I mean, I've got like $95 of draft capital wrapped up in my IL right now, so it's it hurts.
Yeah, I mean, it really is though. It is. You can't get discouraged about it either,
No,
and, it's week one. It's week one. I lost last week. I lost to Fat Snatches, which Colin, if you're he's not watching.
I love Fat Snatches.
Yeah, well, I love Fat Snatches too. But I hated it last week.
I love me some Fat Snatch.
Well, says it.
Yeah. Hey, Jim,
if you're watching,
Jim. Yeah, Jim. You need to replace him. Stroman for half. We'll talk. That's definitely a player that's available for me.
So let's go into before we go into the into our categories and everything.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys take away from this week, from this prior week and the current week that we're in when it comes down to fantasy? Let's start with you, Adam. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think without a doubt, and I would say this is especially specific to our league, but probably not specific to just our league. But I think the new rules that have been put into play in the MLB this season have made just an absolutely huge effect on fantasy baseball, probably even more so than I thought going in. And I thought that it was probably going to affect this fantasy season quite a bit. But my goodness, we've seen so many steals, so many stolen base attempts.
It's been great.
Just in general, so much more action on the base path, so much more action as far as balls in play and, base hits. It's just, and it really has translated into a surplus of points, honestly, in fantasy because, it just seemed like, and we did boost, I think the steal numbers in our league where you get 7 points for a steal, and we boosted the walk. Yeah, and we've boosted the walk where I think you get 3 points for a walk. So I mean, it's not unheard of where a guy can be 0 for 3, but yet get you, 19, 20 points, and that's just been kind of a difference maker in our league, and I think a lot of it, not just with how our point structures set up in our league, but also just how the league is, or just how the rules have played an effect on how the game's being played, and I just think it's awesome.
I agree with that 100%. I'm enjoying the stolen bases quite a bit. You're seeing people to steal bases that you typically never steal bases,
right?
And it's like for example, I'm facing my dad this week and I'm beating him, which fingers crossed I keep up the momentum. But he has Gleyber Torres, for example. He's stealing bases now. He didn't. He wasn't always a base stealer. And it's fun. It's fun to see. It's fun to see people take advantage of the new rules and everything. And then you also have, I have one person that really steals the base a lot, and that is Cedric Mullins, but nobody else really. But everybody else is like whenever. But then also the thing that I have a hard time liking, but it is what it is strikeouts. They're now -2. I've had people give me -8. Oswaldo Cabrera giving me 4 strikeouts in a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough one, but hey, it is what it is. How about yourself, Rob?
Same, pretty much the same. I'm really enjoying the new stolen bases. I've always been a sucker for stolen bases. I've talked about that before, so I love the fact that they're more prominent in the game. The new, I mean, I don't know if you guys listen to any other podcasts, but I'm sure some of our listeners do. So one of the other podcasts that I listen to, Fantasy Baseball Centric, was talking about how the BABIP and the change in BABIP has now started to affect some of these pitchers, and he thinks that it could be into that. And I'm kind of jumping on board with his thought. You got a lot of these ace pitchers that aren't looking so hot right now, and that timing and that time clock, and then the shift, the inability to shift. I think that's kind of getting to these pitchers, and we're seeing some elevated BABIPs. So we're seeing some pretty shitty performances by pitchers, and then on the inverse side of that, we've got some of these pitchers that like to work fast, like Graham Ashcraft of the Reds. And you see these guys that like to work fast that are kind of just blowing things away compared to, there we go, compared to, previous years. And I just think that I think that's pretty awesome. I'm
Yeah.
like I said, I was a skeptic of this whole of banning the shift, but I think that it is doing some fantastic things for not only just the visibility of baseball and the way we watch it, but the way that we as fantasy, enthusiasts are playing the game. And I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Rob, I love that you mentioned, and as our comments showed, the BABIP stat being one of those kind of deeper analytical number that I honestly, I haven't looked too much into BABIP around the league outside of the Cleveland Guardians, but now that you mention it, I do kind of want to look, because I think you're right. There's probably some very interesting numbers to be found there. But as you mentioned with the ace pitchers and stuff and the struggles, dude, the other thing about it, you said like the shifts and the pitch clock, which are huge, and I can't imagine making that change to your delivery and just the way you approach each pitch,
right?
When you've been doing it for so long. But the other thing I think is really messed with these pitchers is the pickoff limitations and just different things along with that pitch clock and with the runners, because man, I know there's a lot of stolen bases, but what I'm also seeing is a lot of uncontested stolen bases where it's like, damn, dude, can you give him a little bit of attention? Throw over at least once. I'm not saying you got to throw over twice, but damn, dude, you got to do something. I mean, because I'm seeing a lot of stolen bases that don't even garner a throw from the catcher.
Dude, I think it's going to get to that point where it's going to be, second base is a given. The next John Lester, that's what it's going to be. Second base is going to be a given because he's too fucking lazy to look over there to first base.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be. It's going to come down to it.
Well, there's been clips of Ronald Acuna going like this. That's 2, right? And then right when he gets 2, you see this massive lead that he has.
Right.
Gets a great jump on the ball, and then he's safe. It's like a guaranteed stolen base after 2, which, me personally, I don't know how I feel about the pickoff rule for that reason. And I only really say that because you can really cheat that system. Oh, they threw it over here twice? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go halfway to first. Oh no, halfway to second. And then he's gonna lift up his leg and I'm gonna be gone.
Yeah.
It'll end up being like this range. If you like, what they're going to come down to, it's going to come down to a range. They're going to make it so that there's, like you see on football fields, there's going to be like yard lines, and you can only go this far. And if you get outside of this far, it's a free pickoff or some shit like that. Manfred wants to make something a game, and he wants to make every single aspect of the game a game. So he's doing all sorts of stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean, I've got my thoughts on Manfred, but I will say the product is probably the most digestible to a larger demographic of fans than it ever has been, I hope. And it was so desperately needed. And, I mean, we'll see how the rest of it plays out, but for sure, I think I gotta give him his flowers for the time being.
He did great with the bigger bases, I feel like, and then also the pitch clock.
Yeah. I mean, and when you think about it, man, it's not even just the rules he's implemented this year. There's been a lot of rules that they've implemented, universal DH, the extra inning rules. Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of different things.
I've grown to like that rule, the extra inning rule. I hated it at first. And then I'm like, you know what? It makes extra innings exciting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it does. It hurts when you've got a pitcher that, goes in there with a runner on second and gets tagged for a loss, when didn't
That's
even
so
really
unfair.
Yeah, didn't even really give up that run,
but it's an unearned run.
Yeah, it is.
It's an unearned run, but they get the loss.
Yep. Which is terrible.
And so now my next thing is like we've been getting a lot of like trade requests. We've been getting it sent to us. I've been looking on Facebook and everything on these requests. Some of them are absolutely horrendous, and I have no idea how in the world some of them gets approved or gets even offered. But then there's also some where you're like, that's actually a really good trade. It really benefits both teams, but you rarely see those. Are you guys have any trades in mind that you guys have came across that that were just horrendous, really bad trades, or really good ones that you really like as well? You want to start this off, Adam?
Rob, I'll let Rob start.
Okay. Hey, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Oh, that's a beer. Beers.
Well, all right.
Hey, and also, calling people out is encouraged.
So here's the deal. I am so horribly bad about remembering trades that I've received, and I actually honestly don't get a whole lot of trades, and I think that's just because I am kind of stingy when it comes to trades. But
people know you're hard to work with, Rob.
I am. But see, that's the thing. Like, I want to work with somebody that's hard to work with. So first off, if you are in the trade game, it's okay to be hard to work with. It is 100%. It's okay to be hard to work with because they're hard to work with as well. If they're going to be offering you this trade and you think it's a bullshit trade, turn the bullshit trade back and try to work something out. First off, 2 rules. 1, a lot of times, and I know Jim's like this, so Jim, traveling board gamer, if you shout out to you. First off, sometimes it could be just a feeler. Like, I could be offering you a dookie ass trade just to get a feeler, so you can respond and be like, "Hey, all right, so I see who you want. Let's work something out." And that's a lot of times that's what I do because I'm not going to show my hand right away.
I agree.
So that's how I do things. I know that's how Jim does things. So I am a horrible judge. That's a whole really long way of me saying I'm a horrible. The fuck is going on at Jordan's house?
God dang!
My light fell. It's good now.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's a long way for me to sit there and tell you guys that I don't have anything in my head that I can bring to the show right now. So,
no,
I was hoping somebody would be like, "Hey, I got this. I thought it was a stupid ass trade. Let's go for it."
I got receipts. So let's attack one of the most notorious bad traders in our league.
Oh boy.
try not to suck. let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Corey. All right. So we have Jose Barrios.
Ooh, yeah.
Jose Barrios,
Jose Barrios.
Trey Turner, who's good, and then Greg Whitlock for Nolan Arenado and and Corbin Burns.
Jeez. Yeah. All right. Give us some more of. Give us some. Do you got any other trades that he's offered? Because the only trade that comes.
I got more. Try not to suck, and this came from you actually, Adam. Jose Leclerc, Whitlock for Devin Williams.
Yes, you did send that one to me.
All right. First off, Garrett Whitlock hasn't been. He hasn't been a white dog turd this year. So,
but he's on the Red Sox, who are turd.
Yeah. He does have that relief pitcher, starting pitcher flexibility, but it's kind of like what I say in NFL for the most part. There's a few exceptions to this rule, but when teams say they got 3 quarterbacks battling for a position, if you got 3 quarterbacks, you don't got 1 quarterback. So quite frankly, Whitlock can't do it. Not on that team. Not for Devin Williams. Corey, you sir are the Joker of the week.
And then I got some off of Facebook too. This person traded JT Realmuto and received Max Muncy, Sean Murphy, and Kyle Wright. And then dropped Orlando Arcia and Eduardo Rodriguez. What do you guys think of that one?
That.
Yeah.
But my big thing is 3 players for a catcher.
Probably the best catcher. But the thing about fantasy baseball is, and Jim alluded to it in one of his comments earlier, value like beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. And that is so true because it's fantasy baseball. It's so hard for a lot of managers. It's so hard to separate that personal sentiment to a player or a team to what's best for your fantasy roster. And that's where I think trades can be debated so much as, that is such a shit trade. But then you're like, well, for him, if he don't think it's a shit trade, then it's not a shit trade.
No, and I thought that was a good trade. Yeah, I'm bringing up trades that are good in my opinion and bad in my opinion as well, so we can discuss them. I think that was a good trade. But my main thing is 3 players for 1. Is he that kind of caliber player to be trading for that? He's not a Vladimir Guerrero. He's not an Aaron Judge. He's not a Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout. Is he that kind of player to get 3 players that are
absolutely 100%?
Max Muncy's playing above what he's normally is. Kyle Wright is doing bad because he just came back from IL. And then Sean Murphy's not doing the greatest either. Well, you got to think.
But you also got to you can't just look at the trade. You got to look at which we can't do for some of these. You got to look at what the roster construction. If they've got a surplus in certain positions. I mean, at the end of the day, the catcher that's got the biggest position scarcity out there. So if you can land a top 2-3 catcher, you've already got you're ahead of the ball game.
Yeah,
that's the thing about JT Realmuto.
You can go. Sorry.
Sorry, I think I'm lagging a little bit, so I might be getting a little choppy. But I think that's the thing about JT Realmuto. Realmuto's he's gonna get you those consistent at bats. Most catchers they platoon and they're gonna be out, every 3 days. So they'll get 3 starts and then they'll sit a day or 2 and then they'll get 3 more starts. But Realmuto, he's not on that kind of a schedule. I don't know. I mean,
he's pitching. He's catching every game.
So that he's gonna get you more consistent starts out of the catcher position than most catchers would. Second, he's also one of the only catchers, if not the only catcher in the league, that is going to consistently steal you bags.
That is true.
So getting consistent, lineup because if consistent lineup or consistent usage, and then stolen bases out of your catcher position alone, right there, that seals the deal. He should be looked at on the same tier as Acuna and Tatis and Otani. He
Okay.
should be looked at because I personally feel like a catcher of that value, a catcher that can bring that to just a regular team, not just not even a fantasy team. That's a pretty impressive. Like that's a yeah.
Well, we'll get to that comment in just 2 seconds. I just want to go over a trade that I just recently had. I just traded, in my opinion, the best catcher in baseball currently, Adley Rutschman.
Mr. Walkoff.
Yeah, he's so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I love Adley Rutschman. I just traded Adley Rutschman and Tim Anderson. All right, I'm so sorry, Ethan. I am so sorry.
He's hurt
and then,
now, isn't he?
huh?
Tim
He
Anderson's
got hurt. He got hurt an hour after that trade went through.
Oh God.
He got put on the IL an hour after that trade.
Who?
Tim Anderson.
Tim Anderson.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I traded Adley Rutschman, Tim Anderson for Corbin Burns and Perdumo from the Diamondbacks. I like that trade overall because I needed starting pitching because week 1 my pitching was a mess. I'm dealing with mostly just waiver guys at this point. So now I have Nola, Burns, and Verlander. So I have a 3-headed monster. Hopefully Nola goes back to form. Corbin Burns looking good now. And then Justin Verlander's a Cy Young winner who's old. Who cares? The man's a beast. But there's, like you guys said, catchers are up here. Oh, Corey just got it.
No, fuck you. Corey.
Hey, yeah. he'll have to replay.
Corey, we love you so much. You're gonna have to rewind this probably like 7 minutes. You're probably gonna have to rewind this. but no, like catcher.
Matter of fact, you get the chat involved in this. Back us up, chat. Back us up. If you guys are on board with what we're saying, because I know a lot of our leagues in here, back us up. If you think that somebody's a dog turd of a trader, just tell them.
Well, you have catchers. Catchers is, like you said, the most scarce position. So I feel like trading them you have to take lightly. But then also, we got a comment earlier discussing this. Byron Buxton for Castellanos and Rizzo. I'm doing it.
We know Rob. We'll let Rob answer last because I think he'll have the strongest opinion of the three. Byron Buxton for Castellanos and Rizzo. Do you have Byron Buxton on your team, or are you trying to trade for him? I don't know. I guess it's one and the same. But on paper, I would do it and just cross my fingers.
Byron Buxton's playing very well to start the season, but how long is he going to be healthy? He did just get trucked
into a wall the other fucking day.
Hey!
Really?
He played today. He played today.
He either ran into a wall or got ran into by a wall or something.
No, somebody ran over him, and then he did a flip and landed on his neck.
Okay. On that note, don't take that trade. Do not take that trade.
Yeah,
I like Byron Buxton.
Get out
I
from
would take
underneath
that
Buxton.
trade.
Get out from underneath Byron Buxton. If you have a chance to get Castellanos on your team, get Castellanos on your team. I mean, he's a monster of a man. Just a straight monster. He's hitting a 292 right now. Yeah, 292 right now. He's got a 173 ISO. Get Castellanos on your team. Get out from underneath Buxton and beat feet and get the fuck out.
All right. Well,
yeah.
It looks like that we're going not for Buxton. So, have you guys accepted any trades yet?
Not yet.
Rob?
You know what? Yeah, I think I did the other day. Let me pull up my team. Yeah, I traded away Bobby Witt Jr. and
Didn't you get Yardan Alvarez?
yeah, I traded away Bobby Witt and somebody else for Jordan. I
I think
can't
that was
remember
a smart move.
who the other piece
That's
was.
nice.
But yeah, I needed another outfielder. Doing so, I put myself short at shortstop, but I kind of had my eye on Mauricio Dubon as it was.
Yeah,
He's been picking
on
up playing
fire.
time down there in Houston, and I mean, dude,
He,
yeah, buddy's been tearing it up.
yes, he has.
He's up 4% in roster percentage on ESPN, which is pretty solid. So, and I mean, even tonight he went what two? He had 2 hits. I mean, so yeah, love man. No, that's sorry, 1 hit.
So,
All right. Well, go ahead.
I just have one more trade that I would like to discuss, and then we can move on to our next category, if that's okay.
It was
That's
Trevor, or it was Dustin May, Bobby Witt and Dustin May. Those were the 2 trade pieces for.
That's a great trade for both sides, I feel like.
I thought so.
That was.
I thought it was a good trade. It worked out pretty well.
Well, Marcus is a great guy to trade with, in my opinion.
He is.
I agree.
He's really good. He's really good to be trading with. So last one, Corbin Burns and Fernando Tatis for Nathan Eovaldi and Julio Rodriguez.
No.
I'm not taking it.
No.
I'm not.
No.
Well, Eovaldi
His numbers are up this year.
No, they're
Numbers
down.
are up for the first 2. Are they down? I thought
He just got
spinning
rocked. He just got rocked.
Hell yeah.
He got destroyed his last game.
Anyways, well, you mentioned Mauricio Dubon, but I thought that kind of actually, guys, I think this was fun. This trade segment. We could talk trades all day, so we're gonna move on to the next topic. But I think maybe this could be a weekly, weekly segment. I think our listeners kind of got involved there, and that was awesome. So we will definitely be talking more trades in the upcoming weeks. But
is it hot? Are you guys hot?
Oh, it's today. Yeah, man, it's been hot.
No. It's feels like I'm in an inferno right now. Oh.
Yes, the Bastards Inferno. In fact, that's the Bastards Inferno, which is a great. That's actually a great transition, Jordan, because I think we need to talk about just who and just a few players each. We can kind of go around. Who's red hot, and in that category, the players that are also in Dante's Inferno that are red hot, but are maybe just like overperforming a little bit. You guys got any opinions on that one?
I can start this one. I have a good one. I just recently picked him up, and he's only rostered in 5% of ESPN leagues. Josh Lau. He is hitting the ball hard. He just hit a home run today, but he's averaging currently 8.9 points a game, hitting 345 with 6 runs, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 1 stolen base. Yeah. He's obviously not the best guy out there, but he's for sure a guy that it might be overperforming. But since Kevin Kiermaier is gone, the greatest center fielder that's ever walked this planet, Kevin Kiermaier, is not in Tampa Bay. He's getting a lot more at bats and getting a lot more playing time. He's performing at a very high level. And then you also have, I think we're all going to agree on this, Vlad.
Oh yeah,
Vlad and Luis Arraez. Those 2 guys are raking. They are
honestly, Luis Arraez was a guy that I had pegged for definitely an honorary member of the Bastards Inferno, because that dude can just flat hit the ball. I was so
that
glad
man
to
is
see
a
him.
pure hitter.
Oh, and really kind of an old school style hitter in that, because he'll use all the field. He'll spray it all directions. Not a big power guy, but I was so glad to see him leave the Central, as the batting title champion last year. But he's off to, well, just to put it into perspective, this year he's hitting 500. He's got a 558 on base percentage, a 696 slug, and a 1253 OPS. Then that equates to a 238 OPS plus.
Oh,
And
Pico has him.
while you're at it, go ahead and tack on 6 walks to only 4 strikeouts. He's an animal.
He is beasting it up. And then also, we got a chat. We know there are tons of them. We probably won't be able to get through all of them, but we will mention some of them. Let's go with Rob. Who do you got as your? I technically had 3. I apologize. Who do you have, Rob?
I wouldn't necessarily want to. I don't want to bring up anybody who really is necessarily overperformers, because I do feel like it is a little early. These guys could kind of come into their own and kind of get in the groove of, maybe at that level of production. Just because the rule changes, who knows? One guy I do want to mention though is Thairo Estrada. I don't see it.
Oh my gosh! I did not see him coming. Bob did good on that.
Right. Yeah, I've been offered him once. I don't see him being able to carry this the rest of the way. He's been putting up some pretty solid numbers. Let me pull up his full numbers. I should have had this done, so I apologize.
Okay. You're fine.
But right now for 2023, he's got a 452 BABIP. So he's well above where he should be. And I know the BABIPs are going to be elevated this year, but he's still got a 20% K rate and only an 8% walk rate. So this guy's he's just overperforming and kind of getting lucky right now in my eyes. So
yeah,
and then a few others that people could look at and see as overperforming. And this is really just a way for me to toot my own horn, but Taylor Ward, buddy,
yeah,
he
did that last year though too.
He did do it in the first half of last year, then fizzled very fast in the second half of the season.
Fizzled very quick after after the break.
Fizzled.
He fizzled after the All-Star break, but he didn't fizzle to the point where he was an irrelevant fantasy baseball player. And then this year to come back and start this season the exact same way. I think that's pretty good. But I can also see him coming back down to the mean and kind of just in regressing to the point where he is going to again be more of that. I would put him on the level of like a Jake Cronenworth style player.
Sure.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I've got just a couple points. Couple names that I just want to mention, and one of them was mentioned in the chat. Matt Chapman.
Oh gosh.
Overperforming. My goodness.
100%.
You're talking about a guy who is hitting 489 with a 1390 OPS. 15 RBI already this year. But he's also a guy that, quite frankly, hasn't hit above 240 since 2019. So he's a guy that I don't hate. I like him as a ball player. In particular, he's got a
great
solid
defense.
glove. Yeah. But that's a guy, obviously, he's going to come down to earth. The other guy that I would fade like crazy is, and this is a guy that came to mind, Kyle Freeland. That guy,
in Colorado.
he pitches in Colorado, which is the biggest reason to fade him. But the other reason is he's 2-0 with a sub-1 ERA, 18 innings pitched, he's got a .96 whip, only 11 strikeouts in those 18 innings. So, that's what really worries you a lot too, is he doesn't have a put away pitch. And the track record on this guy, the track record on him is just the fact that he hasn't ever pitched a sub 4.2 ERA since 2019. He had a great year in 2018 where he got 4th place in the Cy Young Award, but I'd be fading him like crazy, especially since he's pitching over there in Colorado.
Now, do you have any shares of like Matt Chapman at all?
Do I have any shares?
Yeah. Do you have him rostered anywhere?
No.
Okay. If you did, how worried would you be? How would you be quick to drop him? I know with Kyle Freeland, you would probably stream Freeland. He would be a droppable player, but with Chapman, who would you give up? Who would you give him up for?
Yeah, no, I honestly, I don't think I would necessarily be quick to drop him, just because, I would be riding the wave, and also the sense that, Matt Chapman, this is his 3rd season his 2nd season in Toronto.
Yeah.
So, Toronto's got a prolific offense. He's going to get plenty of opportunities to drive runs in. It may come at, the batting average may not be there, but if he can hit 27 home runs like he's done the last 2 years, hell, I'd hold on to him. But yeah, I just don't see, obviously, the numbers he's got now aren't going to be sustainable, but I wouldn't necessarily be dropping him.
I don't know. I look at him, man. He's got his BABIP's really elevated, but he's got a 19. I guess that's 20% K rate and a 10% walk rate. So
yeah, he's got twice as many strikeouts to walks right now. But
I like Chapman. I think he can. I think he could, dude. I think he could definitely. I think he could carry out this production. He could be like Josh Donaldson, circa 2013.
Why not trade him high?
Yeah. The only thing that worries me is he struck out 202 times in 2021, and he struck out 170 times last year. The strikeouts
he's
kill
playing
you
for
sometimes.
Oakland.
Yeah.
He's playing for Oakland.
Yeah.
Yeah, that team sucks.
And then to touch on that topic, that's kind of what I was trying to get at. I was trying to poke and prod, like, who would you be willing to trade him for? Because obviously, if you're picking up or if you have one of these players that you feel that you get, like your gut or your instincts or your analysis is telling you that is overperforming, trade high. Get them off your team. If you really like if you really think they're doing well, get them off your team. Put them, get them to someplace else. Try to get.
Now's the time to do it. Yeah. And honestly, now's the time to do it.
I agree 100%. Yeah, and it's risky because you could lose out on this kind of production all season, but it's also one of those things. Like, if you really don't feel like a player's going to pan out to the way that they have right now, get out from underneath it. Go for it. Trade him.
While the value's up there.
Yeah, you don't
absolutely.
What's next, guys?
Let's go through some of the comments and talk about some of the players that they have mentioned that we didn't. If you're in a league like ours, where stolen bases are the big money machine, Jorge Mateo is kicking booty. Every time he gets to first base, you're guaranteed a stolen base from him. He is constantly stealing bases, and he's the number one in his position just because of that. And he's also hitting pretty well too. He's not hitting sluggish, but then also you got to think, is he going to be able to maintain this? The speed, yes, he will be able to maintain the stolen base numbers, but will he be able to maintain his good bat that he's been having as of late? Is he a guy that you trade now and get somebody good later? I would be personally riding with him throughout the whole season. That's just me personally. I tried to get Jorge Mateo. I think Pico beat me by like $5 to get him. So it's okay. But I honestly think Jorge Mateo is gonna sustain this all season when it comes down to the stolen base numbers. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no,
I feel. I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
go for it, man.
No, I was going to say I had Jorge Mateo on my team last year for a little bit, but you know, he was good. He was good when he was getting on base, but you know, the famous saying is, you know, unfortunately, you can't steal first base at times, and Jorge Mateo is a little bit of a streaky player as far as putting the bat on the ball and getting on base.
He is currently batting .286, 9 runs, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, and 7 bags.
Nice.
That's a solid season because I had him on my team last season. He was the Howie Kendrick last season.
Yeah.
And he was very streaky. But this year, since the stolen bases are going to be elevated, he has a great chance of sustaining that all season.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with kind of in between. I don't think he'll sustain this high of a floor or this high of a ceiling, but I don't think he has a really low floor. He's got he's 22% strikeout rate, 7.5% walk rate. So I don't think his walk rates come up enough to kind of level out this kind of production. So I think he's going to drop a little bit in production, but he'll still be like a rosterable character. I think you can definitely put him on some teams, and he could be trade bait for anybody that rosters him. So
we could also talk about basically OG Brandon's whole offense.
Yeah, they all went off.
They were ridiculous last week. You have Brian Reynolds, who's becoming freaking Roberto Clemente. You have Will Smith hitting lights out. And then you also have Wander Franco, who's stealing every bag he touches. And then Ty France is a hardcore sleeper that I fell in love with when I got him for $4 off of the waivers 2 years ago. And then now everybody knows who he is. And it's so annoying because I want him every single year. And I never will ever again. Ty France. So like,
hey, real quick. Do you know who you just sounded like for a second?
Who?
You sounded like Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka.
I want it now.
I want it now.
Yeah, exactly. I want a golden goose.
Out of these players, Brian Reynolds, Will Smith, I think they're playing at the level that they're going to play at least until the All-Star break. Franco, I'm not a believer in him, so I don't think he's going. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know why. Him and Tatis, dude, I'm telling you, there is something in the back of my brain. There's something in the back of my brain that tells me, like, guys, I don't like Franco and I don't like Tatis. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you, but man, yeah, I guess. But for Brandon, yeah, I guess anybody that had anybody on the damn Tampa Bay Rays offensive lineup on their roster. Did you see the stat where they said the Tampa Bay Rays coming into tonight's game, which I saw, thank God, they lost. But did you see the stat where coming into tonight's game, they as a team had hit more home runs than they had given up earned runs?
Well, you have to take this in consideration. The level of competition that they've been playing.
Oh, yeah.
This is their first true test against Toronto.
Yeah.
They've been.
No, it is. They literally haven't played anyone that's out of last place.
Yeah, no.
None of that matters. Everybody's playing in the same advantage, same disadvantage. Everybody's playing the same game. Like, I don't want to hear, they've had an easy schedule for the first. You're still playing 2.5 weeks of baseball. You're playing, 20 days? I mean, you all have the same advantage. I think what Toronto or what Tampa Bay is doing, I think it's awesome. It's
it
the
is.
most
No, I
beautiful
love
thing
it.
about this game
I
is
love
that they're defying the odds and they're becoming and they're kind of flourishing into the team that they kind of have been knocking on the door of for the last decade.
the
Yeah,
most
no, they
hardcore
are.
budget
And
team.
you know what? You know what's the most exciting part about it, I guess, is hey, if nothing else, yesterday in Tampa Bay, it's a Thursday afternoon game. Or no, yeah, Thursday afternoon game. They had like 17 or 18,000 fans there. I mean, that's unheard of in Tampa.
Right.
Now,
In Tampa
granted, the
Bay,
Red Sox, yeah, granted, the Red Sox were in town, so obviously that's going to draw some. But I mean, damn, dude, I think maybe something's starting to finally catch on there. Hopefully, with and maybe a lot of it is with just the re-energization of baseball this year. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does. It definitely does feel different. I mean, there's a lot more energy around the game. But I think we need to move on, fellas. I mean,
Yeah, we do. Hey,
Re-
which
re-
by the way, let me just say something real quick.
Yeah.
I've got about 40 minutes before my computer's going to do another auto restart. So just a heads up.
Hang on.
So anyways, I guess there Jordan is putting on his Columbia jacket.
This is my wife's jacket. This is all we have. It got really cold. We just got hit with the ice age. I just
know
saw
what
Scratch
happened.
running in my front yard with his acorn.
Jesus,
It feels like I'm in an ice box.
Oh God. Yes, you are in an ice box, actually, Jordan, because what probably had happened was well, I've got a few players that I'd like to throw in the ice box with you that are probably just as cold as you are, or if nothing else, as good of an actor as you are. But
And scene.
scene, okay. My first player I want to throw into the mix, as far as
Also, this is the Bastards Icebox.
There you go. I've got a few players that I want to throw out there real quick, just real briefly, that I think are underperforming, that I think will be just fine. So if you are a fantasy manager that has any of these players, just be patient, relax. It's numbers will come back. This is baseball. It's all about averages, I think. But few players I got: Marcus Semien, Juan Soto, and Logan Webb, which just signed an extension with San Francisco. I don't know if you guys saw that, but signed a nice little extension for him. So I think that'll take some pressure off him a little bit, and get him kind of going again. But those are three players that I think are definitely underperforming. The numbers, I'm not gonna dig into them too terribly much, because honestly they're not great. But those are three players I wanted to mention to just relax on. And then, what do you guys think?
You stole my three, so I'm gonna go off the dome. I was gonna say all three of those people.
Oh, really?
Yep. Those were my three on my list. So off the top of the dome, my main man, Mr. Cedric Mullins, he's starting off very slow. I don't see this happening throughout the whole season, personally. I just feel like he just is in a rut. It's baseball, happens. And then also, like, I would not panic with him because he's going to give you stolen bases, and then he also has those power numbers. But then also, most of the aces in baseball.
Yeah. Yep.
Like it's not gonna like me going in panic mode last week is 100% justified. I didn't have my staff was just a mess, but like seeing Corbin Burns give you -11, -8, don't worry. Seeing Aaron Nola give you negative numbers 3 straight starts, don't worry. Seeing Zach Wheeler give you negative points, don't worry. They're aces. They can get away with it. I don't see that sustaining all season. So if you have any ace that is struggling, hold off on them. Even Sandy Alcantara just got blown up. Don't hesitate on no. Don't trade him unless you get something good for
him. Yeah, you're right. Aces are struggling bad. I will say, if for whatever reason you have fucking Chris Sale on your roster, get rid of that dude. He is washed.
Why is he still? Why are people still talking about him as if he's relevant?
Yeah. Well, because he's getting paid so damn much, they're going to try to get something out of him. But he is trash. Dude, my God,
is horrible.
Dog shit.
He's given up 5 home runs in 12 innings this year. By the way,
he's given up 5 in 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dog shit.
Yeah.
Who I wanted to touch on again, I wanted to reiterate what you guys actually just mentioned. Every ace in baseball, in my eyes, every starting pitcher in baseball right now, just take everything with a grain of salt. So if they're blowing people away, take it with a grain of salt. If they're getting nuked every time they go out, take it with a grain of salt. And then secondly, Sean Murphy. He has been kind of underperforming a lot, but he actually hasn't been hitting against lefties. Which is kind of surprising. They put a lot of money in Atlanta behind him, and then he is, Now Travis d'Arnaud has been starting in front of him against righties, and then he has had the platoon advantage when it comes to like rotation. Mm-hmm. So I'd be careful with it.
D'Arnaud just got hurt, so he's taking up more.
I think Sean Murphy is. Yeah, then exactly. d'Arnaud just hit the 7-day IL. I think he comes back tomorrow though. So
never mind.
I mean, it's not like a long IL stint. It was just a concussion IL. But I do think Sean Murphy is going to start to find his groove there, and I don't know if it's just a managerial decision or something like that, as to why he's sitting behind d'Arnaud and not hitting lefties, because he hits lefties pretty well. I mean, he's no slouch off of a lefty, so I don't get it. So I do think Sean Murphy will come back to form.
Yeah, well, and that was a guy that honestly I was really hoping the Guardians were going to sign this offseason. And then once I saw what Atlanta gave up to get him, I was like, okay, yeah. And then and as it turns out, Mike Zunino for the Guardians, after being out basically all of last year with that thoracic outlet syndrome, Mike Zunino's off to a pretty torrid start.
I think he's kind of a sneaky good pickup.
Yeah,
like if your league requires you to roster a catcher, there could be worse catchers out there. And Zunino, what was it, like 3-4 years ago? He was a 25-30 home run guy.
No, he hit over 30
ago, I think
he hit over 30 in 2019, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, so I mean, like, he could return to that. He could come back to that.
Oh no, sorry, 2021. He hit 30.
Yes!
He hit 33 home runs.
Yes. I really only know that because MLB The Show gave him a jacked up card for hitting over 30 for catchers.
Yeah.
All right, what we got next? What's next? Let's go.
So next is and this is a huge topic going into any weekend, and regardless of whatever fantasy league you're in, the strategy of streamers is out there. It's a risky one, but also can be an effective one. It could also be a necessary one in certain aspects if you're really needing to win. But where it really comes into play is the weekend streams, which we're getting on it a little late on a Friday. I know in some leagues people are starting to pick up their weekend streamers on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, getting ahead of the ball game before anyone else gets on them. So with this being a huge, a huge strategy point in fantasy baseball, I just kind of wanted to see if you guys had your eyes and maybe we have our eyes on the same streamers, or not our eyes, but just maybe streamers in general to maybe look at. But we may have the same names because let's be honest, it's not a very deep pool out there. And so I guess Jordan, what was your thought?
I have Zach Plesac facing the Washington Nationals.
Oh, good pick.
Main reason why is because he is facing the Nationals, and the Cleveland Guardians are significantly better than the Nationals. I see Guardians scoring enough runs to give him a great support system. Will he keep it under 3 to give you that QS? I don't know. But I feel like he would be the best pickup when it comes down to streaming a good pitcher. And then also a sneaky one, Michael Grove from the LA Dodgers facing the Cubs.
I don't know about him.
He's only rostered in 0.7% of the leagues. And he's a new I think this is his first year. He got rocked against Arizona just recently, but I honestly feel like he may have like a nicer bounce back, mainly because I think Arizona is better than the Cubs. Arizona has a lot more weapons, and then he's also pitching in LA. These are my Saturday picks for streamers, so take that with a grain of salt. I took Plesac, and then I'm taking Grove.
Fair enough. Rob, what do you got?
One that really has kind of looked good to me this year is Matt Strom of the Philadelphia Phillies.
That was my pick.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
Yeah, he's looked pretty solid this year. He said some pretty funny things, some pretty right things. I don't know if I sent you guys that picture or not.
Yeah,
he's out of line, but he's right.
Yeah, like Buddy makes sense, but he's he's stupid as shit.
Doesn't he know most people aren't there to actually watch baseball?
Right. Yeah, like most people are there to eat shit and drink beer. But Strom, he's looked pretty good in his first 2 starts. He's carried a 9K through 9 right now, which we're heavy on Ks. And then a 40% ground ball rate, which is pretty freaking awesome.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth mentioning that's kind of a guy to look to streaming this weekend. Who is he matched up against? What team?
This weekend?
Yeah.
I don't have a schedule put up. Let me see.
Because I think I would probably take that one because it's the Cincinnati Reds.
I would take it.
Yeah, he's pitching against the Reds. So, I've been watching the Reds. I've been watching. He's pitching against the Reds. Now it's kind of scary because the Reds OBP is super elevated this year, and they're just kind of hitting the ball pretty well.
And it's in Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati, so he could get those home runs. But hey, a loss isn't on the table. A loss isn't on the table because let's face the facts. Cincinnati could be winning the game for the first 5, but bullpen's going to give that shit up. So
that's true.
The loss isn't on the table. So Matt Strom, I like him a lot. And then Roansy Contreras, he plays this weekend. He's got St. Louis. He's going to be a desperation play for me. He's not going to be a play that I'm going to want to run out and grab. But he's down. He's up to a 5K per 9, and then a 43 or 45% ground ball rate. I like ground balls. I think that's what I look for in a first 5 pitcher. So 45%, and then St. Louis is just they're not hitting the ball very well at all. Right
they
now.
Aren't.
So I just like him for the weekend.
Their runners and scoring positions ranks one of the lowest in baseball. So I would take that with caution because I'm not trying to be a homer. When the Cardinals are hitting, they are hitting. And they will put up 8+ runs a game. Just like what they did against Toronto when they're hitting the ball very, very, very well. and they are top 3 in batting average. So again, be careful because you could get bit right in the butt when it comes down to all those runs being scored.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to know something I've noticed here as we've started talking streamers? I've noticed in the comments that we've gotten a few comments on what streamers people have been burned on in the past, but I don't see anybody throwing their maybe streamers to look for out there, because it's like so much of our league is in our the group or the comment section that I'm like, everyone's just holding on to their freaking name.
You want to know the streamer that bit me in the butt last night? Burrito.
Oh God!
Negative 29 points.
Oh my God!
Negative.
Wait.
29 points.
And you're still beating your dad?
I'm beating him by over 100.
Oh man.
My team is playing very well this week. I'm at 365.
Oh, nice.
So, but no, like
80 less than me.
I scored 40 points with my offense alone yesterday, and yesterday was a very low scoring day because not a lot of games were playing, and I scored 2 points, because I had other pitchers suck last night. It was rough. My math could be off, I don't know.
No, but yeah, I like Rob. I like your strong pick.
Warren's weak.
Jordan, I like your Plesac pick. Yeah, I think I saw where Plesac was rostered in like as far as ESPN, he's rostered in like 2% of the league. So, and like you said, he's coming off a really good start. His last time out, he went 7 innings, I think, only 2 runs. So, yeah, that'd be maybe a good one to pick up. Patrick Corbin, hey, hey, you better watch out. Patrick Corbin needs to watch out. They just awoken the sleeping bear of Josh Bell tonight. So here it comes. Get ready. But all right. So I guess you guys got anything? Jordan, did you mention Cardinals? Do you want to plug your Cardinals podcast real quick for the listeners?
Yeah, every Wednesday. Every Wednesday.
That's what you do.
Last Wednesday, but every Wednesday we on VSN we have a show called Birds at Bush. All we do is talk about the St. Louis Cardinals. We typically are dogging them because they can be stupid, but then also whenever they're doing well, we are praising them like we're in church. So I tune in 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time. I have a lot of fun doing it because I get to talk about my favorite team and only my favorite team. So,
yeah, no, absolutely, man. Yeah, tune in. It is actually Jordan and his co-host Josh Edwards do a great job. Very informative and entertaining, and also some of the other shows we've got on the network. Whether that's 7th inning stretch or back that Astros up or thinking baseball, facing the Giants, all of them. There's a lot of great shows on the network. So make sure you tune into those guys as well. What else do we got? Any housekeeping items?
Rob,
go ahead, Rob.
I need you to tell me about that sexy ass shirt you got on.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, dude. All right,
that
again.
Fire.
Oh yeah, man. Actually, a shout out to my boy Logan over at Old Fort Baseball because he got what happened there? So is it echoing?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh my goodness. All right. Hey. Okay. Jordan, are you with me here?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Feed me the line again. Give it to me again.
All right. Let me come back. Hey, Adam. What is that very, very sexy shirt that you're wearing? And can I get one?
Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. Hey, this is a great shirt. Shout out to my boy Logan over at Old Fort Baseball, who hooked me up with this last week. Actually, this just launched today on their website. He gave it to me last week to be able to wear on this episode here. It's part of the Castle collection of Old Fort Baseball. Of course, as some of the Fort Wayners in the stream know, it is near and dear to our hearts. Wayne the Wizard. I once stuck a peanut. Full shelled peanut in his mouth when I was a kid, and I still, for whatever reason, remember this to the day. But this is part of the Castle collection at Old Fort Baseball. They've got tons of different collections, all sorts of gear. They are our keynote sponsor for season 1 of Inglorious Batters. So go ahead and go over there and check them out. They've launched a ton of new stuff here recently, actually. Ton of new shirts, hats, things like that. So go ahead and go to their website, oldfortbaseballco.com. Use our promo code BATTERS, get 15% off your order.
That is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But then
which by the way, perfect
yes.
shirt. They've got perfect shirts for the Fort Wayne crowd. Perfect shirts to wear. We just had Tin Caps opening day here in Fort Wayne. I think they play at home this weekend. So what better time to grab some gear than Fort Wayne Tin Caps baseball season?
I mean, it's the perfect time of year to wear it because the Tin Caps actually, they have the Padres' #1 prospect on their team right now. So that's cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Who's probably going to get traded. but I still think that's really cool that I get to watch him like I did Fernando Tatis and Trey Turner. But then also down in the description, we have the links for Old Fort Baseball, but we also have a link for one of our newer sponsors down there, So Rare. Rob, could you fill us all in on them, please?
Yeah, dude. You guys give me a thumbs up. Can I be heard? Mike,
yes.
Can you hear me? All right. So Rare, it's kind of a cool thing. They do have a free, they have a I'll go over the free. So what it is it's like a digital collection of baseball cards that you can play as your fantasy team. It's pretty sweet. So when you go through the process, you'll go through and you'll sign up, you'll put our promo code in, and then you'll get an extra, a little perk there. But what it is, you'll go through there. It's at sorare.com, and you'll sign up. You'll draft your team. So they'll keep putting players up on your team, cards up on your screen for you to draft. You can select, and you can bring those to your team. Now you're limited to, I think, like 10 or 15, or maybe might even be 20 cards that you're able to have, and you're able to play those cards each week for a 3-day period, and it just rotates. So every 3 days, there's a new game that starts or a new week that starts up. And each week you play just like a normal fantasy baseball league where you collect these points, and then whoever wins that in the end of that week will get like a prize card or, like a prize for placing the positions in which they place. Now, one of the coolest aspects about this league is that your players gain experience. So if you play them on your team, if you start them for your weekly matchups or your 3-day matchup, they gain experience. So you can have a player that gets you no experience, or just at base experience, and he'll just get you the points in which he scores for that week. Or you can have a player that you've played for the last 5 weeks that you've built up that could be at like 8% times the points. So it's kind of a cool aspect in that stance to where, the more you play a player, the more they could provide for your team. So you can build these astronomical players that are just, juggernauts in this game who aren't normally juggernauts in fantasy, which I think is kind of cool. So it's kind of like a board game aspect there. But one of the best parts of it is it's all crypto based. So every card that you get, if you want to get into the premium version of the game, every card that you buy is an actual NFT. So it runs off of the Ethereum network, and you're able to purchase cards, put them into your lineup, allow them to gain experience, and then evolve them into the next week's games and keep playing them, winning bigger prizes, all while selling those players that you build up. So I think that's a really cool aspect of the game as well. And then it's just overall fantasy baseball. Who doesn't love fantasy baseball? Am I right, guys?
Yeah, man. It's just like a whole nother outlet, for fantasy managers to kind of, just experience something new and different, because this is very different and new. It's innovative. Right. It's really cool, actually. And I think we have some plans moving forward. We're going to be putting out some pre-recorded stuff and midweek type stuff that we're going to do. We're going to kind of pre-record and maybe edit a little bit. So, we won't have any echo back on our feeds, but yeah, we're going to do some stuff. I think definitely some stuff with So Rare. I think to kind of maybe do a walkthrough for people to kind of show them how easy it is to do a setup, kind of go through just their interface. I think that'd be a cool idea.
Yeah, I think it'd be really fun for one of you two to go ahead and sign up for an account, draft a team, and play their basic mode, and then, or create a podcast account, and we'll draft the team, create a basic mode. Maybe I'll put some of my crypto in there, and we'll go ahead and try to build a good team.
Yeah, man, I think that sounds like fun, and we're thrilled to have them on board here for our inaugural season of Inglorious Batters. So shout out to So Rare. They are definitely kind of starting to take everything by storm. As I notice I'm a MLB TV subscriber. I'm noticing their ads more and more
everywhere.
Yeah. I'm seeing it on Instagram.
Dudes.
Yeah, so it's awesome. We got on board with them early. I feel like, this is like, we've kind of been in talks with them for 3 weeks now. Jordan has been back and forth some emails, so this is kind of cool. So definitely take advantage of the link that we've got on our banner down here, and just give it a try, see what you think. It's maybe not for you, but maybe something you should try.
Use our link. You'll be able to get You'll be able to get free starter packs for your first week playing. There we go. I had to.
Dude, that is an awesome deal, because with the way they have it structured, you're so limited on the players that you're able to play. So you're really trying to make these. You have to break it down with like analytics. You have to look at the adverse side of things and like, okay, who's the matchup against? So, like, am I going to play the best left fielder that I can play?
Yeah. It's real life Moneyball, man. I love it.
Yeah.
100%. Hey, what do you guys think of this show?
I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a great show.
I loved it. This has been one of my favorite ones, because we've been able to actually have a very in-depth conversation about fantasy. Last like 2 weeks ago, fantasy just started. We were unable to really dive deep into it. But this week it was fun. It was fun to really talk about something that we like so much.
No, it was, and it was even more fun because of all the comments. So shout out to Marcus, Jim, Pico, Brandon, Colton, Alex, Corey, everybody that Brandon, both Brandons. Shout out to everyone that was commenting. It makes it so much more fun, more engaging, and I think it helps facilitate the conversations even further. So appreciate everybody tuning in. We're super excited to get some stuff going here in the next couple weeks. Look at our socials for some updates on some of the different shorts. Rob's posting pretty much daily on his on some betting, sports betting stuff, some baseball bets of the day. He's actually, what were you up, Rob? 6 units last night? Is that right?
Oh, 0.62. Just over a half unit.
6 units
on the season, though. On the season, we're up 1.2 or 1.6 units, something like that. So, which pretty solid. We're only a week and a half in.
Yep, absolutely, man. I'm sure when it comes to gambling, with baseball, it's kind of like fantasy baseball. It probably takes a couple weeks to kind of, let things kind of fall into place. You can get a little more and little larger sample size to base your picks on. So
and baseball is statistically the hardest sport to bet on.
Yeah. So, and Rob, what is your Twitter handle where you post a lot of your gambling info and insights?
Yeah, now, of course, I'll always post our daily plays to our Twitter, the podcast Twitter, also our podcast Instagram at Batters_podcast. But I will post my full card. So my non-baseball plays, I'll post the whole full card on at DSS_bets on Twitter. It's my personal Twitter, and then if you're on the Pickett community, I'm at DSS_bets.
Awesome, man. Great, Jordan, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. Well, do you guys have anything else to add before I go into our closing arguments? Oh, not closing arguments. Our closing. There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man. No, man, that's it. That's it. Shout out, everyone. Thank you for listening. Shout out to the sponsors, real quick. Row One, SeatGeek, Dugout Mugs, a lot of other sponsors we got through VSN. So we have those in the episode descriptions, all the links, all the promo codes that are included in that. So definitely check everybody out. We appreciate all the support. Hey, and by the way, VSN Baseball made their debut in the Apple Podcast charts this week. So we're in the top 200.
Hey, yeah, look at that.
Top 200. We made our debut peak at 175 in the Apple Podcast Baseball charts. So, hey, you know what? It's a step. It's a step, baby.
Yeah.
Baby steps. Baby steps. Anything you'd like to add? Wheat Thins?
It's called. It's Whit Thins. Whit.
Oh, sorry.
Whit.
Wheat.
I got to change that now. No, yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
All right.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I can't think of anything else. I mean, nothing nice to say. Don't say it at all.
Well, I would like to say thank you guys so much for joining our podcast this week. We had such a fun time. We are going to attempt to be more active when it comes down to posting videos, when it comes down to our YouTube page, our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. So you want to make sure you want to follow them. For the weeks that we're off, we're going to be putting out some shorts. We're going to be putting on some new segments that we're going to just be putting off as shorts, so you don't want to miss those as well. And then also, all of our socials are down at the bottom: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So follow all of them. That's basically it. Have a very great rest of your night, and like what Rob made up, keep it inglorious. We will see you guys. We will see you guys later.
Peace.
Hey guys.